Hi, my name is Rose Reevely. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and I am here today talking about the transits and April's full and new moons coming up. Before I get into talking about the transits and all of the energies of this month, I just want to say my prayers and thoughts are with all of the people who work the front lines right now, from the grocery store checkout person to all of our emergency responders, men and women who drive 18-wheelers. All of these people, and many of them, find themselves on the front lines, and we would have never thought about that in the past, but things have changed and things are changing rapidly. When there are catastrophic events such as this, the coronavirus, impacting the entire globe, it's an event that creates a shift in consciousness. A shift in consciousness. A lot of astrologers, and I've talked about consciousness now for the past 2 years in my newsletters and in my videos. So this is what is happening. April is full of transits, and I'll get into those. So April's full moon takes place on April the 8th. Many of you know I am a big fan and believer of numerology, and the 8th house in the zodiac, in the natural zodiac, relates to death, to transformation, to life, to birth, rebirth. So it is, the 8th house is the house of transformation. So on April the 8th at 24 degrees of Virgo, and then the new moon, and we'll talk about the new moon separately, takes place in Aries on April 23rd at 9 degrees. First, I want to talk about the full moon, which is coming up shortly. Virgo is an earth sign, and Virgo symbolically is the only sign of the zodiac that is actually is a woman. And so there's so much information in the symbology of these signs. And Virgo is a discriminating sign. It shows us how to work with the essentials. Now, this is going on right now. A lot of people in service jobs, not just the medical front lines, but a lot of people are having to work with the essentials, with what they have. Many pictures of Virgo show her standing, and these are beautiful. There's an old one that I really love. I don't know the year that it was done, but it shows her standing at the bow of a boat. The boat is very basic, very primitive. It looks like a wooden boat. Okay, she's standing at the bow. In one hand, she holds a lantern. In the other hand, she holds an ear of corn. So you get the feeling from the photo, because the lantern is lit, that she's moving through darkness, okay? Through darkness. Now, darkness can represent many things. One is unconsciousness, okay? With the masses being unconscious. But she's moving through this darkness, and you get the feeling when you look at the photo, there are no oars. There's no way for her to navigate the movement of this boat. But you get the feeling that she's doing it through her mental acuity, through her mental strength, through her mental power. And this is important to think about later when I continue on about our thoughts. So symbols are really important to our psyche because they carry so much information, and often we miss it. Often we're not paying attention to the very minute details, right? And so this is Virgo. Virgo can pay attention to the very obscure, to what is very important, but might in other eyes be seen as something very minor. We know Virgo is practical, and that really Virgo is a sign of the minimalists of the zodiac, and they're able to work with what they have. And so Virgo rules the 6th house of the natural zodiac. The 6th house is the house of health and healing. And so this full moon will take place in the sign of Virgo. Now, this is a very sacred time. Please understand, I know that everyone's being bombarded with information, And we really don't know what the truth is now because Mercury and Neptune are conjunct. And I'll talk more about that as well. But I want you to see the beautiful synchronicity of what's going on with the planets, because the planetary energy can guide us. This can guide us, okay? So let's take a look. Virgo rules the 6th house of the natural zodiac. It's concerned with our health, with what we do every day. And we know that we are, our health is always moving. It's not stationary. It's not the same every day because it depends on our nutrition, our amount of sleep, our mental thoughts, where we are emotionally too. So one of Virgo's many gifts is that they can take resources that they have and they can utilize them in an effective and efficient way. Virgo is prudent. Virgo is pragmatic. And this is very good for the earth, for Mother Earth right now. So many healthcare workers come from the sign of Virgo. They may have their sun there, their moon there, or other planets there, but this is the sign of serving. And the truth is this: we are all here. Our purpose is to come to the planet to serve. It's just that we have to find that area of life to serve in that is fulfilling for us. And so this is all coming front and center now. And what you're going to see over the upcoming months is you're going to see the ingeniousness of people in our country, the United States of America, who have a deep understanding of what needs to be done right now. And these people are going to come forth with some amazing ideas and amazing thoughts and ideas of how and where to navigate this catastrophe. So again, Virgo is the sign of health and service. And so one of the things that we're going to notice is this full moon is the full moon is a time of fruition. And in actuality, the full moon is the moon to manifest with, because it's all about blessings and prosperity. And it's good for resolving conflicts or issues. So it's really the moon to manifest with. Now, Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury, thoughts. Remember me talking about Virgo is standing on the bow of the boat with the lantern and the food. She's bringing resources. She's bringing help. She's bringing service. She's bringing comfort. We have a ship right now named the Comfort. And I believe that ship is in the harbor of New York City, I believe. And then we have another ship called the Mercy. These are beautiful. I love the names of these ships, but you see the synchronicity. You see what is happening. These ships are bringing aid. They're bringing service. They're bringing comfort and help to people who are in desperate need. So Virgo, again, our thoughts are very powerful. For what? Our thoughts can destroy us, or our thoughts can build us up. They can empower us, or they can disempower us. And our thoughts right now are so critically important to where we're going, to where the planet is going now. Okay, so the new moon takes place in the sign of Aries on April 23rd. This is a fiery moon, a fiery new moon, okay? The new moon is time for new things to happen. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and as such, it deals with the head, right? Okay? Mental thoughts, the head, all of this is intertwined. You see, there are no accidents really. We are a web. We are all connected, and the stars can guide and lead us now if we will pay attention to what they are saying. Okay, this indicates passion. Aries is a fire sign, the first sign of the zodiac, and this new moon takes place in the star nakshatra called Ashwini. And Ashwini is one of my favorite stars because the symbol for Ashwini, and you know I love symbols, is the head of the horse. Think about this for just a moment, the head of the horse. If you have ever seen the majesty and the beauty and the gracefulness of an animal that big and that magnificent moving fast, you cannot help but be moved and be stirred by that power, by that energy. And so Ashwini represents fast movement, healing movement, fast healing movement. How beautiful is that? This star has the energy to heal very quickly. So as it goes in mythology, the Ashwini twins were the horses that galloped through the cosmos, bringing healing to the gods. To who? What? They were horses, yes, symbolically, but they were bringing aid and healing to, they were called the physicians to the gods. Okay, so what do you think that they did? I'm going to just name a few things, okay? So they helped in childbirth. They assisted in childbirth. They restored youth to older people. They even gave life to the dead. Now, what they also represent is prana. And you yoga teachers know exactly pranayama, breath work. The power of the breath, it's life force, right? Breath brings us in the world, breath takes us out of the world. So this is very important. Your breath and your thoughts are intimately connected. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, take 3 deep breaths. It clears the mind. When too many thoughts start coming in, too much anxiety, too much fear, 3 deep breaths will take you out of that. It will allow it to dissipate, to go away. So do you see what's happening? Prana and breath. This is a respiratory illness. It manifests on droplet nuclei, or droplets floating through the air, right? It's in the air. And so it attacks the respiratory. And so your breath is very vital here. Very vital here. Okay. So when you start looking at the planets, it's almost like we can feel there's a cosmic conspiracy for good. For good. Please know that this is guiding us and leading us. This is what the stars and the planets do. Since time began, man has looked up. And I encourage you, go out at night and look at the beauty. What are they doing? When you look at the stars in that dark sky, they're shining a light. And that light is to guide us, to light our path. Okay, let's take a look at Capricorn. We have a stellium of planets in the sign of Capricorn, an earth sign. Right? An earth sign. There we go. Virgo's the earth sign where the full moon takes place. All of these planets are in Capricorn. There is an emphasis on Mother Earth. Mother Earth is hurting and needs healing. And we can do this through the power of our mind. Okay, in just a few days, just a few days ago, we had a major planetary shift in terms of transits, and we continue to have them even now. First, Venus is in the sign of Taurus, an earth sign. You see where this is going? Now, Venus in Taurus gets what's called exalted. It creates a Malavaya yoga. Well, what does that mean? That means it's operating at its highest and best qualities, the most beautiful qualities, the most intentional qualities for good, okay? For good. When you think about Venus, we can think about the beauty. It represents beauty. It represents generosity. It represents refinement in the arts. But you know what the number one thing is? When I think of Venus, and maybe for you too, Venus is about love. It's about love. And that is something that we are desperately needing now on the planet to show each other. Okay, so Venus is this feminine energy. And in the USA's chart, Venus rules the 6th house, the house of health. The house of health. Okay, this is really important because energetically, this planet is about love, basically. So here it is. Helping, engaging, loving others through what? You can love them through your mind, yes. You can love them through encouraging words, yes. There are many ways to do this. So this is very positive. The day after Venus entered Taurus, Jupiter transited into Capricorn, okay, from Sagittarius. Sagittarius is Jupiter's home base. That's its home sign, and it operates at its highest and best qualities there in Sagittarius. It's very expanding in Sagittarius. Okay, but now it's in Capricorn. It's in another sign. And so Jupiter loses its exalted status in the sign of Capricorn. So it really has to operate in a different way. So it's considered debilitated, not my favorite word at all. But what it means is that it slows down because now it's in Saturn, and Saturn is restrictive. We'll talk about that. So the way that Jupiter operates is it has to operate in more of an organized and slower pull back. But here's one of the good things. I really find this very good, and that is that Jupiter is concerned about the masses. Jupiter, remember, is a benefic planet. Jupiter is the guru planet, okay? Jupiter is about joy and generosity, and Jupiter cares about the underdog here. Jupiter cares about the masses and what they are suffering. Jupiter cares here in the sign of Capricorn. And so it is concerned with suffering. It is concerned with suffering of the masses. Now, Jupiter currently is transiting conjunct Pluto, and this is major. Pluto was discovered in the 30s when Hitler and Mussolini and dictators were running the planet or really expanding their power, right? And in the USA during that time, what was happening? Mafia was really gaining a lot of headway in the US in the 30s. And so Pluto represents major power, corruption. It deals with sex, power, control, manipulation, greed, everything that we think of that Pluto is about. Destruction, right? Destruction. Think atomic bomb. That is Pluto. That is Pluto. Okay, so it deals with this kind of energy. Now, I want to say they're going to be conjunct on April the 5th, which is not very far away. So wherever Pluto is in your chart, you're going to experience major transformation in your life at some point. But the point is now today that Jupiter and Pluto are traveling together, and Jupiter rules the USA's chart. It's in the second house of the USA. What is happening? Money is being the way our financial, there's being a total upset of currency. That is for certain, and that is happening as we speak, okay? And so, let's see, also the second house deals with what we eat, what we put in our mouth, right? What we put in our mouth. And so, back to Pluto. Pluto is traveling with Jupiter. Jupiter expands, but remember it kind of can't because it's in Capricorn now. But still, Pluto is really, the emphasis of it is death and destruction and transformation. So we see all of this now. Pluto deals with governments. We see a breakdown in governments all over the globe, right? Not just the problems, the political issues that our country has, but we see this with leaders now around the world. Okay, let's talk a minute about Saturn. Saturn is in the sign of Capricorn. It rules Capricorn. So here it's exalted. It's working at its highest and best. Well, what is that for Saturn? Saturn loves organization. Saturn loves security. Saturn is big corporation, big businesses. Well, what do we see? We see that, right? Do we see the big ones? They're getting bigger. So Saturn here in Capricorn is very ambitious. Remember, Capricorn's the goat that goes to the top of the mountain, and that goat places his feet very carefully on each stone, rock, stone, foundation, right? Foundation. Saturn's all about creating foundations. Saturn in Capricorn, it creates a sasa yoga, and that means the highest qualities. And so let's look at it again. Responsibility, accepting responsibility, doing the hard work. Saturn likes control and order, and Saturn rules locks. Yes, the locks on your doors, the locks on your cars. What are we doing now? We're in a lockdown. Saturn is operating in a lockdown. Saturn has us locked down, in isolation, in quarantine. You know, another thing, people with a Saturn in Capricorn work really well in what? Seclusion, alone. They can get it done. You know why? Because they know how to focus, concentrate, tenacity, persistence. All of that is very Saturnian-like energy, like the ability to do the hard work. Okay, so security, and just remember, Saturn rules foundations and locks, and this is what we find ourselves in now. So I want to let you know also that on the 5th, Jupiter and Pluto, we were just talking about, that is explosiveness within the government system. That happens on April 5th. Now, exactly how or what, I am not certain, but I just know that this is an evolving, rolling thing. And what you should always know about the transits too is they're always moving. They're always changing. Nothing is staying the same. So to think that it's forever like this is not accurate in thinking, okay? We have the power through our thoughts to shift the planet. We do. We have this power. Okay, Mars is always, now Saturn and Mars come together, or they're actually transiting together. And let's see. Saturn and Mars it's like two opposite. Mars wants to act. Mars is all about action and energy, and Mars is a very forward-moving planet. And Saturn is very restrictive, as we just said. So you've got one, and I say it like this, one's driving with the foot on the accelerator and one has the foot on the brake. Well, you can't get very far, right? Whenever that's happening, you cannot get very far. And it's very what? Frustrating. And it causes a lot of what? Anxiety, okay? A lot of anxiety. Remember to go to the breath. Remember to breathe it out. If you need to take a walk outside, that's a great way. Get in touch with nature. Listen to the birds. Listen to some relaxing music or instrumental music that just kind of taps it all down. This is one way to handle that. So remember, Mars rules all the first responders, policemen, surgeons. They have to know exactly where to cut. That's Martian energy. You'll hear me talk about Martian energy because they have to move very fast, and lives depend on their ability to make an intelligent, Mars does rule intelligence as well, and to make an accurate decision about, hey, this is the way to go. This is the way to go. So Saturn and Mars conjunct on the 1st of April. And this continues through like the second week of April. So you're going to feel this energy. Everyone feels this energy. No one is immune right now to this. So now I want to talk a little bit about Mercury and Neptune. This exact conjunction happens on the 4th. And a lot of times when the energy is applying, when those planets are moving towards that exact conjunction, you can feel the energy of that power much more because it's applying, okay? Once it hits the conjunction, it kind of brings it to a fruition. Like, that's it. That it doesn't mean more can't happen, but it kind of culminates, is what I'm saying. It kind of culminates there. Okay, so Neptune is the master of deception. The master of deception. And Neptune is almost like a vapor or a smoke. You can kind of see, but you can't, and you're not really sure. If you've ever been in a glass-bottom boat, which is fantastic, you can see a little ways down, and you can see some fish, but you kind of get the feeling that there's a lot more down there, but you just can't see it. That is very Neptunian. Neptune rules the film industry. The film industry, okay? Because it came out when talkies and film were first getting started. And so Neptune rules the film industry. And Mercury is conjunct. Mercury, as all of you probably know, is the communicating planet, right? It's in charge of business, commerce, technology, travel, the written word, the spoken word, videos, so Mercury has a big domain, a lot of work to do. And so these two are coming together. In the third house of the USA's chart, we don't know a lot of what is going on. We can't, because Neptune obscures our ability to see. We cannot see exactly what's going on. Does the film industry have something to do with it? Yes, of course. That's Neptune. But it's bigger, much bigger than that, and we can't see all of it. Okay, now I'm going to just recap for just a moment. The planets in the second house of the USA's chart is finance, really, and our financial wealth, and primarily the foods that we eat. It's also the spoken word. So it affects what? Our health and our wealth. All of these planets are together, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, and Mars, in the second house of the USA's chart, conjuncting each other. Our health, an emphasis on our health and our wealth. What are we seeing now? Our health, yes. Our physical health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, which is probably now taking a first place, right? Spiritually, emotionally, the strength that we need as a country, as a globe, to get through this, as a planet. Now, what makes this a really, really interesting time is what is going on is called a Kala Sarpa Yoga, and this means the time serpent, or the serpent of time. Kala means time, and Sarpa means serpent. So this is not really a rare yoga. A lot of people have this yoga, in fact. I have this yoga, but when I talk to people who have it, you kind of get a sense of the same story, and that is that what it does is it causes really highs in a person's life and really lows, like the highest high and the lowest low. And so it's kind of like an up and down cycle, right? It's like the best and the worst, and everything in between, right? Well, right now everyone is in what's called a Kala Sarpa Yoga. Now, the full moon will break the yoga. So understand that this yoga, the other part of this is that people feel when they have this yoga that no matter what has happened in their life, tragedy, and a lot of times many tragedies, abuse, all kinds of harm that have come to people through this, they feel as if that they were destined for that the profoundness of that experience in some way has elevated their consciousness. Okay, so this is very true about Kala Sarpa Yoga. So no matter the tragedy, no matter how bad or even how good it is, that they understand on a deep and profound level that they were meant to have that experience. Now, here's the other thing. It kind of really puts you off in another direction. These experiences, you might have been going over here with your path, and suddenly Kala Sarpa Yoga comes in and you have to switch and go this direction, right? You see what I'm saying here? And so this pandemic is changing lives irrevocably, meaning there is no going back. There is no going back. That was then. We have big things ahead of us and a big job ahead of us. And so this pandemic is changing lives. It's changing the trajectory. It's changing the destiny of everyone on the planet now. So again, the full moon breaks the yoga on the 7th, the 8th. The full moon will break the yoga. So one thing you need to understand, when the moon breaks the yoga, it becomes very isolated, as it does. It's far away from other planets. And the moon is really indicating the masses. And so that's all of us, right? But so what we're feeling is we're feeling alone. We're feeling isolated. We're feeling cut off from our families, our loved ones, our social life, our jobs. So it's very important to have those positive mental thoughts. Again, going to the breath, listening to uplifting music, doing things that uplift you emotionally, and trying to remain out of the news cycle, because Mercury and Neptune's conjunction, we cannot know what news is coming in. We don't know how much validity there is to it. And speculation leads to more frustration and anxiety. Go back to the breath, do the breathing, listen to uplifting music, read positive things, keep your mental state high. Your vibration, when you keep your vibration high, you are healing your body. You are healing yourself. And when you heal yourself, you're healing Mother Earth. And you're helping all the other people who are sick. Okay, so this is really important. So here's my main message. And I'm talking about the news cycle, the disinformation of information, the speculation, spreads fear and anxiety, which we want to move away from. But I want to say this is a very sacred time. We are in a spiritual crisis. It's called the Great Awakening. You've heard that before. April 25th, Uranus will conjunct the sun. And to me, that is specific to consciousness, certainly consciousness being really opened up, okay? And so I want to also talk about, this is really important, and this is really what's at stake. What's at stake right now is the sovereignty of our consciousness. I'm going to say it again. The sovereignty of our consciousness is what is at stake now. And that is what we need to be concerned with. Living free and respecting the freedom of others. Living free and respecting the freedom of others is the ultimate, basic, fundamental human right. And this is where we need to be putting our thoughts and our attention. So this is the time to think about the life that you really want to create. And I mean really want to create, not the one that you had, because that's gone. That is gone. And I'm not saying that to disturb anyone or upset anyone, but reality now is that we have a chance to remember who we are, why we came to the planet, why we're really here. And as I said before, it is service, but it's finding that unique way that we can fulfill our soul. So now we have the time, whereas before we didn't have time, right? We were too busy, but now we're not. We're not too busy. And we're not too busy to remember. So connect with nature, honor this time. Your thoughts have a sound, a size, a quality, a weight, a color. I know that's hard to really grasp sometimes, but our thoughts are so powerful. And so we need to remember that we have the power, that our thoughts are powerful. Know this, you have 17 seconds. This is so fascinating. 17, again, the number 8 comes up. Transformation. Your thoughts carry immense power. If you stay focused for 17 seconds on what it is that you want to create, that you want to manifest, and you don't let anything break into that, you have manifested it. 17 seconds of continual thought on what it is that you want creates that which you want. May our thoughts be positive and healing for ourselves and for Mother Earth, for this beautiful and wonderful. And let me just say, it can be heaven on earth. I do believe that. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. And my contact information is in the description if you would like to contact me and schedule a Vedic consult. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Namaste.